Before fast food and takeout, there were meals that told stories. Recipes passed from hand to hand, generation to generation. Today, we're honoring the rich, deep, and absolutely delicious food traditions of Native American culture, with 33 recipes you need to taste at least once in your life. 1. Frybread. Let's start with a legend. Frybread, it's golden, crispy on the edges, soft and pillowy inside. It was born from survival. In the 1860s, when Navajo people were forcibly relocated on the Long Walk, they were given government rations: flour, sugar, salt, lard. Out of those came this simple but powerful dish. It puffs up in hot oil. The smell is warm and familiar, like county fair funnel cakes but richer. Tear it apart with your hands. Eat it plain, or smothered with beans, cheese, and salsa in the form of Indian tacos. Today, frybread is more than food. It's culture on a plate, served at powwows, family gatherings, and roadside stands all across the Southwest. 2. Three Sisters stew: corn, beans, squash. The Three Sisters, named for how they grow together in harmony. Native farmers planted corn tall and strong. Beans climbed up the stalks and fixed nitrogen in the soil. Squash sprawled wide, shading the ground and keeping weeds away. Together, they fed both the soil and the people. This stew is rich and hearty. Tender squash, sweet corn kernels, and creamy beans simmered in broth with garlic, onions, and herbs. It smells like fall. It tastes like home. And it's the ultimate comfort food, with history stretching back over 7,000 years. 3. Blue corn mush. Imagine oatmeal, but earthier, deeper, and sky blue. Blue corn mush is a Hopi's staple. Stone-ground blue corn meal, cooked slowly with water, juniper ash, and a touch of honey or prickly pear syrup. The texture, smooth and creamy, almost like polenta. The taste, nutty and slightly sweet, with a faint hint of minerals from the Asha traditional way to boost calcium. It's served warm at breakfast, and one bite transports you straight to a quiet morning on the mesas of northern Arizona. For Indian tacos, okay? Let's be honest. This is comfort food at its finest. Take that golden frybread, top it with seasoned ground beef or bison, pinto beans, shredded lettuce, diced tomatoes, cheese, and a dollop of sour cream. It's messy, it's massive, and it's loved at every native gathering from Oklahoma to Montana. Sure, it is not an ancient traditional dish, but it's a modern classic that fuses old ingredients with American-style flavors. And trust me, once you've had one, you'll think about it every time Taco Tuesday rolls around. 5. Hominy and posole stew. Let's talk about hominy. It's corn, but it's been soaked in lime water, which puffs it up, softens it, and gives it a deep, nutty flavor. In the Southwest, hominy becomes the star of posole, thick, rich stew. Pork shoulder or chicken slow-cooked with red or green chiles, garlic, onions, and that glorious chewy hominy. It's smoky, it's hearty. It's got just enough kick to clear your sinuses. Posole isn't just a dish, it's a celebration food. Served at Christmas, New Year's, and big family gatherings. You eat it with friends. You eat it with memories. 6. Wojapi. Sweet, tart, deep purple Wojapi is a Lakota and Dakota dessert. That's pure berry bliss. Choke cherries, blueberries, or June berries are slowly simmered down into a thick, jammy sauce. Just berries, water, and maybe a touch of honey. You pour it warm over frybread, spoon it onto wild rice, or eat it straight up like pudding. The taste is bold like homemade jam, but fresher and wilder. And the color, a deep, rich violet that looks like sunset in a bowl. At powwows and family feasts, Wojapi isn't just dessert, it's a reminder of berry-picking trips, open prairies, and sweet traditions that stretch back centuries. 7. Wild rice hot dish. In the north woods of Minnesota and Wisconsin, wild rice is king. For the Ojibwe people, Manoomin wild rice is a sacred food. Hand-harvested by canoe, it's chewy, nutty, and packed with flavor. In kitchens today, it often becomes hot dish Minnesota speak for casserole. Wild rice mixed with mushrooms, onions, turkey or chicken, herbs, and a creamy broth, baked until bubbly and golden. It's savory, it's filling. It's the kind of dish you eat on a snowy day, wrapped in a flannel shirt, with a fire crackling nearby. Its native tradition blended seamlessly into classic Midwest comfort cooking. 8. Bison chile. Forget ground beef. The original American chile, it was made with bison. Bison meat is leaner than beef, but packed with deep, rich flavor, and it's what native Plains tribes relied on for centuries. Today, bison chile means slow-simmered beans, tomatoes, smoky and tender chunks of bison that practically melt in your mouth. Top it with shredded cheese, green onions, and a dollop of sour cream, and you've got comfort food with a wild edge. 9. Cedar planked salmon. Up in the Pacific Northwest from Washington to Alaska, salmon was more than food, it was life. Coastal tribes like the Tlingit, Hearty, and Navajo perfected this. Fresh salmon fillets laid over cedar planks, slow roasted over open flames. The cedar infuses the fish with a smoky, woodsy aroma that's impossible to forget. Flaky, buttery, and kissed by smoke, it's a backyard barbecue, but older and deeper than any grill party you've ever had. 10. Venison stew. Hunting wasn't just sport, it was survival, and venison, or deer meat, was prized from coast to coast. This stew, think tender chunks of venison, simmered with carrots, potatoes, onions, and a splash of red wine or juniper berries if you're feeling bold. The flavor is earthy and rich, but not gamey, just enough wildness to remind you where it came from. Served with a thick slice of Frybread on the side, it's a meal that sticks to your ribs and tells stories of long winters and full bellies. 11. Corn pone. No ovens, no problem. Corn pone is old-school cornbread baked right in cast iron over an open flame or hot coals. Just cornmeal, salt, water, and maybe a splash of bacon drippings for extra flavor. It comes out with crispy edges and a soft, crumbly center. Slather on honey or butter and take a bite. You'll understand why this simple bread has stuck around for centuries. 12. Smoked trout dip. Picture it. Crystal clear northern lakes and freshly caught trout, smoked gently over hardwood. That's the base for this creamy, smoky dip. Flaked smoked trout mixed with cream cheese, sour cream, dill, and a squeeze of lemon. Spread it on crackers or Frybread and you're retasting a northern delicacy that's as elegant as it is rugged. Perfect for holidays, cookouts, or just when you want to feel fancy without the fuss. 13. Mesquite grilled quail. Down in the southwest, mesquite wood is gold, and when you grill quail over it, magic happens. Quail is small but tender, and the mesquite smoke wraps it in a sweet, nutty flavor. Marinated in a little lime juice, garlic, and chili, then grilled hot and fast. It's finger food, but with ancient roots. Serve it up with roasted corn or beans on the side, and maybe don't bother with silverware, just dig in. 14. Roasted pumpkin with maple glaze. Pumpkin isn't just for lattes and pies. For tribes from the Iroquois to the Cherokee, roasted squash and pumpkin were full staples. Thick wedges of pumpkin brushed with maple syrup, sprinkled with cinnamon, and roasted until it's sweet, savory, and tastes like a crisp autumn afternoon. Pair it with venison or bison or just enjoy it on its own. You'll never look at pumpkin the same way again. 14. Roasted pumpkin with maple glaze. It's sweet, savory, and tastes like a crisp autumn day. The maple glaze bubbles and soaks into the tender pumpkin, giving every bite a rich caramelized edge. This isn't just a side dish, it's comfort food straight from the harvest fields. Pair it with venison stew or serve it solo as a showstopper on your holiday table. One bite, and you'll wonder why you ever waited until Thanksgiving for pumpkin. Cooking over fire wasn't just survival, it was celebration. From smoky salmon to mesquite quail, these dishes remind us of how gathering around flames meant more than food. It meant family, story, and tradition passed through every bite. Before supermarkets and corner stores, native communities turned to forests, rivers, and meadows for their pantry. These recipes are born from what the land generously offered, and they still surprise with bold, natural flavors. 15. Acorn flour bread. Gathered from mighty oak trees, acorns were ground, soaked, and transformed into a rich, nutty flour. Baked into dense, hearty bread, it has an earthy flavor that pairs beautifully with stews or a drizzle of honey. Eating this is like tasting the forest floor in the best way, nourishing and grounding. 16. Sunchoke soup, also called Jerusalem artichokes. Sunchokes are nutty, sweet roots with a crisp bite. Blended into a creamy soup, they offer something between an artichoke and a sunflower seed. Smooth, rich, and satisfying on a cold evening, it's a hidden gem of native culinary history. 17. Chokecherry syrup. Tart and vibrant, chokecherries were turned into thick syrups, perfect, drizzled over Frybread, or mixed into teas. It's a burst of sweet and sour that lights up the taste, and it's been brightening breakfasts for generations. 18. Maple sugar candy in the northeast woodlands. Tapping maple trees wasn't just about syrup, it was about creating melt-in-your-mouth maple candy, just boiled sap, cooled into soft, crumbly sweets. Simple, pure, and somehow better than any store-bought treat. Ke-19. Wild berry pemichan. The original energy bar, dried meat, mixed with berries and fat, formed into portable, long-lasting snacks. It fueled hunters and travelers for miles. It's dense, rich, and packed with protein, and surprisingly delicious for something that predates protein bars by hundreds of years. 20. Juniper tea, warm, woodsy, and slightly peppery. Juniper tea was a soothing drink used for both comfort and medicine. It tastes like sitting under pine trees on a cool morning. A gentle, grounding sip of nature. 21. Prickly pear jam. From the deserts of the southwest comes bright pink prickly pear. Turned into jam, it's sweet, tangy, and almost tropical. Spread on cornbread or stirred into yogurt, it's sunshine in a jar. Foraging wasn't just about survival, it was about knowing the land, listening to the seasons, and tasting the gifts hidden in plain sight. These recipes remind us that sometimes the best flavors grow right under our feet. These next recipes are all about the hands that made them, the time, care, and love that went into crafting meals that aren't just filling, they're comforting. From the hearth to the table, these dishes carry a story. 22. Indian pudding, warm molasses and spiced with cinnamon and nutmeg. Indian pudding is a New England classic that traces its roots back to early native kitchens. Made with cornmeal, it's dense, hearty, and packed with comforting flavors. It's the kind of dessert that feels like home, even if home is miles away. 23. Green chili stew. a fiery blend of roasted green chiles, tender meat, and vegetables. This stew is a staple in the Southwest. Each spoonful packs a spicy, smoky punch, balanced by the richness of slow-cooked meat. A dish that's simple but full of bold flavors, and perfect for a chilly evening or a family gathering. 24. Tamales. Corn masa, seasoned meat, and a surprise of spices wrapped in corn husks. Tamales are a labor of love, shaped by Pueblo traditions. Whether stuffed with pork, chicken, or vegetables, every bite is an explosion of flavor wrapped up in history. Tamales are more than just a meal, they're an invitation to gather, share, and celebrate. 25. Buffalo meatballs. Buffalo meat is lean, rich, and packed with flavor. Ground into meatballs, they're tender and delicious, often paired with a tangy sauce or served with roasted vegetables. These are protein-packed bites that carry the spirit of the plains. Savory and filling, buffalo meatballs bring the wild frontier right to your plate. 26. Navajo mutton stew. Smoked mutton, root vegetables, and fragrant herbs. This stew is a nourishing, hearty dish, beloved by the Navajo. Mutton is tender, the broth rich, and every spoonful is an earthy, soul-satisfying comfort. This is the food that sustained generations. Its history in a bowl. 27. Zuni blue corn pancakes. Blue corn, revered by the Zuni, is the star of these pancakes. Ground into a flour, the blue corn imparts a subtle nuttiness and a slight sweetness. Add a sprinkle of juniper ash, and you have a pancake that's as unique as it is delicious. Paired with honey or berries, these pancakes are a true celebration of native grains and tradition. 28. Pumpkin seed mole. Rich, velvety, and complex, mole is a beloved sauce in many native communities. Made with roasted pumpkin seeds, chilies, and a secret blend of spices, this mole is a perfect match for meat, tacos, or even roasted vegetables. It's a sauce that tells a story. Every spoonful is a reminder of the earth's bounty, transformed into something magnificent. Handmade doesn't mean easy, it means slow, steady, and full of care. These dishes are made from the earth, by hand, and with heart, and when you savor them, you're tasting something far older than the recipe itself, a tradition, a memory, a legacy. After a meal that's rich with history, there's always room for something sweet. These desserts, pastries, and treats are made with ingredients that have been gathered from the land, things like honey, berries, and corn that bring the perfect end to a perfect feast. 29. Pine nut cookies. Buttery, nutty, and just the right amount of sweetness. Pine nut cookies are a treat made from the pine trees that dot the landscapes of the Southwest. Pine nuts, also known as piñón, are roasted, adding a rich, earthy flavor to these melt-in-your-mouth cookies. These cookies remind you of crisp mountain air and the warmth of a family gathering around the fire. Simple, yet unforgettable. 30. Sweet corn cake. This light, fluffy cake has just the right amount of sweetness, balanced by the natural flavor of corn. Perfect for a festive occasion, or as a comforting side dish. Sweet corn cake is a dish that brings people together. It's the taste of summer harvested from the land, capturing the essence of native cooking in every bite. 31. Wild rice pudding. Creamy, nutty, and rich with a flavor of wild rice, this pudding is a decadent dessert that uses one of the most cherished grains of Native American culture. Wild rice, often paired with maple syrup, creates a sweet and comforting dish that's as satisfying as it is flavorful. It's a reminder of the connection between the people, the land, and the food that sustains them. 32. Cranberry Wojapi cheesecake, a modern twist on the traditional Wojapi. This cheesecake is swirled with the tart, sweet flavor of choke cherries, creating a dessert that's both familiar and new. It's a fusion of native berries and the rich texture of cheesecake that'll have you coming back for more. Wojapi, a beloved berry sauce, is transformed into a new desert, bridging tradition and creativity in the kitchen. 33. Honeyed Frybread golden. Crispy Frybread drizzled with honey. This is the ultimate sweet ending. Frybread is already beloved for its crunchy texture and warm, slightly salty flavor. Add a touch of honey, and it becomes a treat fit for any occasion. Sweet, simple, and satisfying. This is the kind of dessert that ties everything together. It's comfort, celebration, and tradition, all rolled into one. As we come to the end of this culinary journey, we hope these 33 recipes not only inspire your taste buds, but also deepen your connection to the rich, diverse, and meaningful traditions that Native American food holds. The next time you sit down to a meal, remember, food is never just about what's on the plate. It's about the stories, the cultures, and the hands that created it. So, which of these dishes will you try first? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories that taste like history.